Hello PoE2 players. In this video, we're gonna talk about the new reworked Doedre'S Undoing and the build I made around it. So with that said, let's get straight into it. So, unlike the old Doedre'S support that creates a cursed ground which instantly explodes, the new Doedre'S Undoing now spawns frogs or Witchtoad that deal chaos damage. Each cursed ground area from supported skills spawns a Witchtoad every 0.25 seconds up to a limit of 4. Limit 2 areas of curse ground. So basically, that's 4 toads every second. Now let's talk about the damage. The base damage of each toad scales with the level of the curse gem it's sucketed into. You can see it here. This skill is copying the level of despair it is socketed in. And it also has a 7% base critical hit chance. So the higher the level of your curse gem, the higher the base damage per toad. Now let me show you how it actually looks in game. When you cast your cursed, 4 toads hop outward from the center of the curse ground. Now this next part is really important because this is where the mechanic starts to feel different. Let me show you how the toads interact with monsters. So what happens is, you cast your curse, the toads first do this outward hopping animation, then after that, they start chasing nearby enemies before exploding. So it looks like this. Like this. So the explosion is not instant. The toads need to finish that hopping animation first before they can track enemies and explode. And another issue is the toads are kind of slow. Now how does this affect mapping? Usually when mapping, players are constantly moving or sprinting through the map, right? But if you cast your curse in one spot and immediately move away, the toads are still doing their hopping animation while the monsters are already chasing you away from the cursed ground. And because the toads are slow, the explosions get delayed even more. So compared to the old Doedre'S Undoing with the instant blast, this version kind of forces you to stay closer to your curse placement so monsters remain near the toads long enough for them to chase and explode. So the playstyle completely changes. It becomes more about good curse placement. You want to cast your curse ahead of you while advancing through the map. So by the time monsters get near it, the toads are already active and ready to chase and explode. Now, honestly, if you're willing to ignore that downside, I think the damage potential of the toads actually scales really well at higher curse levels. If you look at the scaling here on PODB, at level 38 curse, each toad deals around 2,399 to 4,455 flat chaos damage. Now, the question is level 38 actually achievable? Yes, definitely. But only if you're willing to invest enough into it. Right now, my gear is still pretty trash, and I'm only level 85. Currently, I have plus 4 to level of all chaos spell skills, plus 2 from my amulet, plus 2 from my focus, plus 1 from the passive tree, this one, and plus 1 from the rune socketed in my wand, which is the rune of wisdom, and also plus 1 from chaos mastery support. So with my level 19 despair, that puts me at level 30 total. Okay? But if we fully invest into the build, we can push it much higher. You can get plus 5 from the Vertex Tribal Mask, plus 5 from Wand, plus 1 from Rune, plus 1 from Passive Tree, plus 1 from Chaos Mastery, plus 3 from Amulet, and plus 2 from Focus. That gives us a total of plus 18 levels to our curse. So if you have a level 20 curse gem, that becomes level 38 total. And if you want to push even further, there are lineage support gems that can give additional levels to skill gems. So reaching a level 40 curse is actually possible. And at level 40, Doedre'S Undoing reaches around 3,246 to 6,029 flat chaos damage per toad. Now let's talk about the possible DPS. Remember earlier when I said Doedre'S Undoing spawns a toad every 0.25 seconds? By default, the curse ground limit is 2. But in my setup, I'm using Overabundance 2 to increase the limit to 3. So we now have 3 curse grounds. And because the word limit is underlined here at this part, it also affects the toad limit, increasing it from 4 to 5. So now I can place 3 curse grounds with each spawning 5 toads per second for a total of 15 toads every second. You can see the current toad count here at the upper left of the screen. Now, during mapping, these toads don't all chase the same target. They chase randomly. As you can see here, they don't chase the closest target. It's random. But in single target situations like boss fights, the boss basically eats all 15 toads per second. That means at level 38 curse, that's around 35,985 to 66,825 flat chaos damage per second. And at level 40 curse, it becomes around 48,690 to 90,435 flat chaos damage per second. And that's before scaling it further with increased spell damage and increased chaos damage, because Doedre'S Undoing has both of those tags right here, chaos and spell. But wait, there's more. One really cool thing about the new Doedre'S Undoing is that even though our toads and curse grounds have limits, you can kind of actually bypass those limits. So technically, you can have way more than 15 toads active at a time depending on your support gem setup and cast speed. And here's how it works. By default, the curse ground limit is 2, right? In our setup, it becomes 3 because we're using overabundance, and that also increases our toad limit from 4 to 5. But the interesting part is this. If you already have 3 curse grounds active, then cast another despair. In my case, it's despair. One of the old curse grounds disappears, but the toads that were already spawned from that curse ground will stay active. Okay, so let me show you right here. 3 despair. You can see the active toads on the upper left of the screen. It's 15, right? Now, I'm just gonna keep casting despair. Watch the toad count at the upper left of the screen. So if you don't have mana issues and or you have your mana cost converted to life cost and you can spam your curse with high cast speed, you can actually spawn way more than 15 toads per second. So let's say you're averaging around 30 toads per second. At level 38 curse, that becomes around 71,970 to 133,650 flat chaos damage per second. And at level 40 curse, that becomes around 97,380 to 180,870 flat chaos damage per second. And again, that's just the flat damage before increased spell damage and increased chaos damage from your passive tree and gear. So yeah, I genuinely think the new Doedre'S and Undoing still has a lot of potential, just like the old version. So now that we understand how the new Doedre'S Undoing works, let me show you my build. But if you're looking for a super meta build like cast on crit comments, this is not it. I don't want to waste your time, guys, so if that's what you're after, you can stop watching now. But if you're curious and still want to see something different, I really appreciate if you support a small content creator like me by liking the video and subscribing to my channel. And if you want to support even more, feel free to follow or sub to my Twitch channel as well. Thank you so much. Okay, so here we go. For my build, I chose Pathfinder. And honestly, there's actually a reason for that beyond just the mechanics. When I first played PoE 1, I wasn't following any builds at all. I was completely new to the game. I was so noob. I didn't even know build guides existed online. My first character was Shadow, and I picked Assassin Ascendancy because back when I was a kid, I got introduced to Diablo 2, right? I was probably around 12 years old at that time, completely clueless, and I picked the Druid class. I remember getting hooked on the what do you call this skill? I think it's Poison Creeper, and ever since then I've always loved poison damage in games. Then later on, I played Ragnarok online, and again, I played Assassin with Poison builds. So yeah, when I started PoE 1, I naturally went Shadow Assassin with Viper Strike, and just randomly took every Poison node I could find on the passive tree. Of course, yes, I kept getting one-shot by mobs because I didn't know anything about cap resistances, uh, maximum life defenses. I literally only cared about poison damage. But eventually, the first real build I followed was Poison Impending Doom what do you call this, ascendancy, occultist. And ever since then, uh, I started seriously studying POE1, like endless study of POE wiki, endless reading on the POE wiki, learning mechanics, interactions, scaling, etc., etc. And I can honestly say my favorite archetype has always been ailments and damage over time, especially poison and ignite. So the inspiration for this build actually came from the old Poison Impending Doom playstyle from PoE1. This build though is still a work in progress. It's basically an experiment because I really wanted to try the new Doedre'S undoing and kind of recreate that impending doom feeling from PoE1. So now, yes, I know there's already an impending doom support in PoE2. But in previous leagues, it's scaled with maximum mana, right? It was maximum mana, and I hated that setup. And again, I specifically wanted to experiment with the new Doedre'S undoing. So right now, I'm only level 85, and my gear is honestly pretty trash. Okay, so yeah, 85 and trash gears. So for the ascendancy, I chose Pathfinder because of this node. This one. Overwhelming Toxicity, which doubles our poison stacks. And for poison chance, I'm getting it from the snake bite gloves. This one, 30% chance to poison and hit. And Ice Fang Orbit Ring, additional 20% chance. And some poison chance from the passive tree to reach 100%. Now, for my weapon set 1, I mostly took curse related notes like this cluster right here. This increases our curse activation speed, which is important because I also allocated Whispers of Doom that doubles the activation delay over curses. And I also took this cluster right here, this one. This gives increased ailment duration against cursed enemies. And also cursed area, increased curse area with curse magnitude and hinder effect. Now for my weapon swap setup, for my weapon set 2, I'm using the Unborn Lich. Uh, I mainly allocated increased cast speed for weapon set 2 and increased area of effect and more cast speed. Why? Because it's specifically for the skill of the Unborn Lich, which is the his foul emergence. This is basically my main source of wither application. Let's read it. If you guys want to read it. Uh, we all know chaos damage scales insanely well against withered enemies, right? So during normal map clearing, I mostly just rely on my wait, let's remove that. My withering presence. But for boss fights and rituals, since I'm farming ritual right now, I use his foul emergence. Where is it? Right here. I use uh, his foul emergence to maximize my wither uptime, especially because I also took increased uh, withered magnitude. This one right here. So basically, his foul emergence creates a withered ground that lasts for 8 seconds. This is the withered ground. It's increasing the area of effect because of the encroaching ground support gem. And but because I also took wait, let's check. The withering ground duration is 8 seconds. But because I also took the skill effect duration nodes like this one, increases skill effect duration, the duration becomes even longer. So with this setup, I can consistently maintain max wither stacks during boss fights and rituals. And honestly, this one also is very helpful. The Fist of Flesh uh, is also super useful because this build is very mana what do you call this, very mana hungry, very mana heavy. So from time to time I use Fist of Flesh on corpses for mana and life recovery. So, as for the rest of the passive tree, it's mostly just chaos damage, poison magnitude, and additional poison stacks. These notes right here, and this one. Okay, for jewels, I'm planning to get more ailment magnitude and ailment duration. Right now, I only have one decent jewel, which is this one right here. Increase maximum energy shield, increase magnitude of ailments, inflict faster curse activation, and increase duration of damaging ailments. Okay, so now for my defenses, I'm still not fully decided yet if I want to go full ES or especially ES because ES got nerfed, right? Or maybe go hybrid ES and evasion instead. I don't know yet. I'm still experimenting. So yeah, for my skill gem setup, the Fist of Flesh, I'm using Astral Projection, Rapid Casting, Magnified Area. For the His Foul Emergence, Encroaching Ground, for the increased area of effect and control distraction, I don't need the critical hits. I just want the Withering Ground and a little bit of damage. I don't need the crits. And Rapid Casting and Deadly Poison. For my Despair setup, of course, the Doedre'S Undoing, Chaos Mastery, Arcalis Lust, Deadly Poison 2, Overabundance 2. And for my dark effigy, this is for the single target or boss setup or for rituals. Concentrated area, control the destruction, rapid casting, and urgent totems 3. For my contagion, this is the map clearing setup. Unleash, considered casting, chaotic freeze, and swift affliction. And from time to time, I'm using a plague bearer with bleed. So this is physical. It's gonna cause bleeding, and it's gonna cause poison, of course. So with bursting plague, the plague burst is physical, so it's gonna cause bleeding again. But it's not the infinite bleed poison setup like the one with Herald of Blood, and then admixture and blind for another defensive layer. And since I'm running hybrid ES and evasion, I'm using Ghost Dance with cooldown recovery too. And for this, I have the Blasphemy with Temporal Chains. This actually helps a lot with the toad issue, the toad chasing, the toad chasing issue I mentioned earlier because temporal chain slows and enemies down, making it easier for the toads to catch them before exploding. Although right now I must warn you, blasphemy seems kind of bugged. Every time I enter a new map, sometimes it just stops working, so I have to deactivate it and reactivate it again. It also loses its effect whenever I die or level up. So again, I need to reactivate it manually. Okay, and then Withering Presence. So yeah, that's pretty much the build for now. Still trash. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe to the channel and subscribing to the channel. it would really help out a small content creator like me. Okay, so and also my Twitch channel. I'm gonna leave the link, okay, in the descriptions. And that's it. Thank you guys. And now I'm gonna leave you with a clip of me fighting the Bodak using this build. So enjoy and thank you again.